Cincinnati Reds fan video log, #1 on our new YouTube channel. I'm Bill McClure, and I will be doing these. And if you have anything that you would like answered or any questions about any Reds things, I'll be glad to find them out for you. So all you have to do is just post on the group page on Facebook, and your question could be on the next edition. First up, we'd like to welcome 4 new members in the last week. That would be Margaret Grace, Bob Adkins, William Sherman, and Paula Bruni-Meek. Welcome to all of you. I know Paula Bruni-Meek from Chesapeake, Ohio, where we all started out, mostly in this group, but we've grown to go outside there, and we have 3 members not originally from the Chesapeake area, so that's great. Welcome, and feel free to comment. Most of the rest of us do, so welcome, and I hope you have a great experience with us. First off, this morning I posted a WCPO article by Mr. Brew. The article was good as far as some things a lot of us have been saying for a long time, that the Reds need to get rid of some players. They need to trade. They need to get some starting pitching. We're second from last in pitching, but 4th in offense. That should pretty much tell you why the Red season is what it is now. And last night was a great example. 2-0 lead, 3-run home run. Hernandez has pitched well, but he didn't last night, and we lose 3-2. So it's not a great puzzle to solve here, and I think the front office of the Reds should know by now that they need some pitchers, and they're going to really have to do something. All the pundits are down on them. But Chris here made a comment. I'd made a comment about Anthony DeSclafani, and I mean, his performance here recently just hasn't been up to snuff, and I'm not really even sure from that article that DeSclafani should be in the mix. Chris thinks he should, so you know, he is solid. He might be a 4 or 5 for us next year, but we need some 1, 2s, and 3s, or somebody to step up. Which brings me to my next point, and that is we have position players out the yayas. Folks, we have Winker coming back next year. We have a 4-man outfield rotation, plus we have Irvin, we have Dixon, we have Gabby Guerrero. We have a ton of outfielders. We have a ton of infielders, middle infielders, Senzel, Jonathan India, and others coming up, Shed Long. They're all fantastic position players. Where are we going to put them? If you sign Jeanette to a long-term contract, second base is locked up. That locks Shed Long out. If Jeanette gets traded, you got Senzel ready to move right in. The Reds have a ton of options to get a couple of frontline pitchers. They have a ton of people backed up in their organization that are blocked out, and we need to keep developing people up and up and up. So now is a perfect time to leverage some of those hot arms we've had for 4 years, and some of the position players have come along, pick out which ones we're going to keep and which ones we want to trade off. There are other teams salivating at some of our prospects. So we really, really, really need to leverage those guys into some pitchers. Because this is the 4th year, in the WCPO article mentioned that we've gone into the last 3 years with a core of pitchers to come out with some excellent starters. Well, that hasn't worked for 3 years at all. It hasn't improved things any at all. So we really just can't go into next year with that same failed attitude. As Einstein once said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. So that was for you, Cincinnati Reds front office. #2, just found out, Lucas Sims was supposed to be the 5th starter on Tuesday against the Brewers. That is not going to happen. As much as I wanted to see him as a starter, and a lot of other people in the Reds organization, he has a pulled muscle just underneath his right shoulder, which is his pitching shoulder. So he is probably going to be out for the season. I originally had down they'd probably take a look at Matt Whistler, although they have converted him from a starter, which he was at Atlanta, and Whistler and Sims both came over in the Duvall trade. Whistler has been working primarily as a relief pitcher at AAA, and since he's been called up after the AAA season was over. A big story this week, Nick Senzel is now listed in the Reds' fall instructional leg as an outfielder. A lot of furor and brouhaha over all this, but the point is that Senzel was also listed as a shortstop, and he played one game at Louisville at shortstop before he went back to third and second alternately. So this is really no big deal. Again, it's just stacked up players. Senzel's ready. He tore up AAA before he got hurt. His injury will be fine, healed up, and he'll be ready to go in spring training. So what are we going to have? A 5, 6, 8-man outfield platoon? No, we can't do that. So again, we need to figure out who we're going to keep, who we're going to get rid of. And then we have a lot of pitchers, according to Mr. Brew in the WCPO article, that we can make expendable. Bailey, this week was big news on him, was he was pulled from rotation. He was not going to work out of the bullpen, so like the Vice President of the United States, he's in some undisclosed location working on his pitching mechanics, or his craft, as he says. So Bailey will not be starting Tuesday. But we did just find out about 45 minutes ago that in place of Sims, you guessed it, Michael Lorenzen will be starting against the Brewers on Tuesday. Now, he's only expected to go 2 to 3 innings, 4 max, since he's not really stretched out. So we'll have to see. I would imagine Whistler will get a shot. A lot of people will probably get a shot Tuesday over the 9 innings. We'll probably see a few pitchers we haven't seen in a while. So might be good. At least Reds will get to take a look at some different people and get them in real-time Major League Baseball situations. See how they react going into next year. Another big story this week was John Heyman. He came out and said he had reliable sources that said that when Matt Harvey was claimed by the Brewers, the Reds were only offered 2 non-prospect AAA filler players. That goes to say something, that at the time the Brewers might have thought they were just going to get Harvey for nothing from the Reds, which it turned out they didn't. They got plenty of other stuff elsewhere with real players, but they didn't offer us anything. And I've said from the beginning, and I still maintain this position, that Matt Harvey was put on waivers the same as Hamilton after the 1st of September in order to gauge interest in next year's trade or contract talks. In Hamilton's case, I think it was to gauge his worth in a trade. In Harvey's situation, it's completely different. I really think the Reds were exploring the market for Scott Boras, who's Harvey's agent, to give Boras an idea of what he's worth and see if the Reds can work a deal to sign him for the next year or two. Don't know how that's going to play out. Don't know if we want to play that out, but at least we got the rest of the season to take a look at him. Becomes a free agent. If we don't want him, let him go. It's just as simple. So we're looking at that situation daily, and we'll see how the Matt Harvey situation works. But in conclusion, I hope you've enjoyed this. I've tried to get different information, some information that is breaking, and I'll do this at least once a week, sometimes maybe more. This seems to be a lean news time, except for the Sims story and the WCPO story. If you like this, make a comment. I'll be posting the URL to the YouTube channel on the Reds group in just a few minutes, as soon as we get this uploaded and it's ready to go. And again, let me know what you think, and if you have anything to contribute, please let me know. Just get a hold of me through the Big Branch Cincinnati Reds fan page. Thanks a lot, and I hope you all have a great day.